What occurs toward the finish of Sanditon? Last but not least, a query that we are able to address, despite the fact that we had no desire for this remarkable series to end. From the very beginning of Season 3, we saw Charlotte and Colborne's story. One step forward and three back was always the pattern. This course, on the other hand, changed in the two most recent episodes. Charlotte canceled her commitment with Ralph, and Alexander disposed of the Montrose family. History repeats itself. Let's talk about Sanditon's final episode. At the point when the episode began, Charlotte had every last bit of her consideration on Mary, who was experiencing a lethal sickness. However, Charlotte was encouraged to speak with Alexander once Mary awoke. He wasn't there when she went to his house. Georgiana found out later in the episode that Lydia secretly got engaged to someone. She assumed the man was Alexander despite not knowing who he was. Charlotte was devastated when she found out about this. She was concerned that Alexander was already married to Lydia and did not want to tell him about the end of her engagement at this time. She began arranging her flight and expressed farewell to everybody. Meanwhile, Lady Susan and Samuel were having issues with their own relationships. Similarly, as we expected they would start to be a cheerful couple, woman Susan was gathered by the Lord to London. She acted as though the time she spent with Samuel was brief. However, Samuel did not release her immediately. He discussed with her how the king views her as property while he views her as an equal. Woman Susan didn't tune in right away. She believed that the king could not be denied. She was ready to leave Sanditon, but she was unable to. She got back to Samuel, and they shared a strong kiss. Charlotte and Alexander, as well as them, benefited from their reunion. Lady Susan stated that she wished Alexander wasn't already engaged to Lydia while taking a walk on the beach. They realized there was a misunderstanding regarding the engagement situation from Samuel's response. To inform Alexander, they immediately went to the Colborne estate. After that, Charlotte got into her carriage and continued her journey. The vehicle came to a stop. By whom already know you. Alexander rode his horse after hearing what had transpired to prevent Charlotte from leaving. They discussed their current situation in an insightful conversation. Alexander admitted that Charlotte had captivated him from their first encounter. The scene was romantic enough to warrant a final episode. We also witnessed the wedding of Charlotte and Alexander just when we thought things couldn't get any better. In fact, the episode featured more than one wedding. We also saw Georgiana wed Otis right before the main event. You were correct. She finally gave up her plans to marry Harry after her mother helped her realize how much Otis has helped her. It was nice to see Georgiana with her mother and the man she had always loved in her final moments together. In the end, the Sandid kept surprising us. We saw 1 year after Charlotte and Alexander got married. Charlotte and the kids were leaving school together. She was greeted outside the school by Alexander, Leo, Augusta, and a baby. We are going to assume that the baby is the newest member of the family. At last, we considered them to be an ideal family, with Charlotte getting what she generally needed, a profession in a family she cherishes. We are pleased that she received the proper resolution. Did you like the conclusion of Season 3 of Sanditon? What was your #1 scene from the last? Please share your thoughts in the section below. Make sure to share and like this video. Buy into our feed for additional recordings like this. See you soon.